Hello, Luggle over here, and we're back today on F1 2020. And as you can see, we're doing another track guide today. Last week we did a track guide at Baku, and this week we're here for another street circuit, but this time at Singapore. As always, we're going to be doing one lap at full speed, one lap in detail, and then I'll show you the setup. That was the lap then. As you can see, it's a 1:33.1. There's always room for improvement, of course, but that's still a decent lap. And now we're going to go in more detail with that lap so that we can master this circuit. Starting off with the final corner, we're just going to try and carry a bunch of speed onto this very short straight where you activate the DRS. But heading into turn 1, you want to brake just after you pass over that overpass there. And use all the track on entry as well as the apex, and then run onto that curb for turn 2. For turn 3, start braking just before the end of that curb. And you want to stay tight to the inside and then run out wide on the exit. Use all the track on exit before moving over to the left side of the track for turn 4, where you want to brake just as you hit the start of that curb. Use all of the track available to you, both on the entry and the apex, and as well as the exit before you activate the DRS, and head down this straight. For the kink, just stay close to the inside, and then for this braking zone, you want to brake in between the 100-meter board and the curb, and it's a pretty heavy braking zone, all the way from 8th gear down to 4th. Use all of the inside curb, and use all of the track available on the exit. For this corner, brake just before the black box, and you want to prioritize the exit here. Don't touch the inside curb, but use all the track on exit before moving over to the right side of the track for this corner here, where you want to brake as you pass that black box there. And as you brake, you're turning, and you don't want to use too much of that inside curb. Get really close to the wall on exit. And then for this corner, you want to brake pretty much right at that 50-meter board. And you want to use all of the inside curb. Don't run out wide or it will ruin your entry for this corner, where you want to brake as that Rolex sign goes out of view. Use all of the inside curb. The track is quite bumpy here. You can't go full throttle until after you pass that inside curb that we just saw there. For this hairpin, you want to brake pretty much on that white pillar there, and it's easy to lock up. And don't touch the inside curb and prioritize the exit for this straight here. And this is a DRS straight, so activate the DRS on the exit of the corner before this braking zone, where you want to brake not quite on the 100-meter board but just after it, and use all the track available on entry but miss the inside curb. On the exit, use all the track available but be careful not to invalidate, and head through a slight curve into this braking zone where you brake just before the 50-meter board. And for this chicane, you want to use as much of the curbs as possible. I definitely could have used a lot more of the curbs on this lap, but still decent. On the exit, you'll use all the track available. And for this chicane, brake just before the black box goes out of view, and use all of this inside curb for the right-hander of the chicane. No brakes, just a slight lift. Use all the inside curb there, and on the exit get full throttle before this braking zone where you want to brake as you pass that black box, and then use all the inside curb for the right-hander as well as this left-hander, and on the exit use all of the track available to you. Before the final corner where your turning point is that orange part of the barrier there, you want to use as much of the inside curb as possible. I missed the apex a little bit there, but still okay, and finish off your lap at Singapore. Now for my setup that I'm using here at Singapore, starting off with the aero, using 9 on the front wing and 11 on the rear wing, which is quite high, but of course Singapore is a quite high downforce circuit, and there are a few straights, but it is mostly corners, which is why it's important that we use that higher downforce. For the transmission, using 50% on throttle as usual, and 53% off throttle for that off throttle rotation through the corners, which is quite important at this track. For the suspension geometry, using pretty normal settings, negative 2.5 on the front camber, negative 2 on the rear camber, and minimum toe. For the suspension, using 1.8 on the suspension and using 6.6 on the anti-roll bars. Normally I would run 1 on the front anti-roll bar, but I just needed a bit more of a sharp front end of the car for this track, which is why I used that higher front anti-roll bar. And then for the ride height, using 2.4, which is normal for quite a few tracks. For the brakes, using 100% brake pressure and 50% brake bias, as usual. And for the tire pressures, using minimum, as always. Guys, that's going to be it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as I post F1 content 3 times per week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.